How you going, guys? Dean here. We've got an 1850 point battle report for you. So I'll run you through my list real quick, then I'll hand the camera over to Kane and he'll run you through his tower. So my primary detachment is a Chaos Space Marines Combined Arms detachment. I've got a Chaos Lord on a Juggernaut here. He's got the Talisman of Burning Blood and a Power Axe. So that gives him him and his unit get plus 3 inches to their moves, charges, and all of that sort of stuff. One of the new World Eaters artifacts. Then I got 2 cultist units in my mandatory troops choices, all got Mark of Khorne. And in my Lord of War slot, I have a Chaos Knight, Demon of Khorne, which gives him plus D3 attacks on the charge, and he can reroll his number of stomps. He also has the Perdist Rift anomaly, which gives me reroll seize, or I can force my opponent to reroll his ability to seize. And he also has the First War of Armageddon, which pluses 1 to the invulnerable save of all demons of Khorne within 6 inches. Then I have a Cyclopia Cabal, 4 sorcerers, all mastery level 3, all with spell familiars, all on bikes. And this is the powers that I rolled up for them. So I got, on the first guy, I got on Sinistrum, I got Warp Fate, Diabolic Strength, and Death Hex. Then the next guy went on Endurance, I called it Endurance because it's the only power I want. On Biomancy, he got Enfeeble, Life Leech, and Endurance. Then the next guy went on Sanctic, got Hammerhand, Sanctuary, and Vortex. And then the fourth guy went back on Biomancy and got Enfeeble, Endurance, and Hemorrhage. So that's my powers. And then for my final detachment, it's a Khorne Demonkin allied detachment. So there's a Herald with the Exalted Loki of Wrath, which gives his unit Hatred, unit Occultist in my mandatory troops, and then 20 Khorne Dogs. So that's my 1850 point list, and I'll hand the camera over to Kane and he'll run you through his.
Hi guys, it's Kane from Menza Gaming. This is my 1850 tower list. So it's a monster mash with a little bit of a hybrid. So in mine we have a combined arms attachment. So we got 2 troops down the front with an Ethereal as the HQ. We have a Yavara as a fast attack, 2 units of 3 Tetras as fast attack, the Lord of War, which is Storm Surge with the Strength 10 Blast and the Airburst Fragmentation, 4+ Invuln. And then over here we have a 3-man unit Riptide Wing. So we got 3 in 1 unit and 2 of 1. Early warning override on those, and advanced targeting on everything as well. So yeah, that's my 1850. Lots of MCs. Thanks.
As we've just finished our objective placement, I'll run you through the table and the mission as well. So table's pretty straightforward: bastions, defense lines, craters, all that standard stuff. We've got objectives 1, 5, 2, 4, 6, and 3. And we're playing an ATC mission, which is basically you get 3 Maelstrom cards, you get kill point differential, and you get Eternal War for objectives 1 through 4, and they're worth 3 victory points each. You've probably seen that one in plenty of games before. So now we're going to do the roll-off live on camera to see who gets the first turn. All right, Kane, what do you got? A 3? Oh, I reckon I can beat a 3. Here we go. Oh, shit. Alright. Ah, fuck.
You can do it!
Yes! Fuck yeah, turn 1 for me. Alright, I'll get into deployment and I'll be right back. Alrighty guys, we've just finished our deployment, so I'll quickly run you through it. So I've got my knight in the middle there, surrounded by dogs with the sorcerers at the back here. All of the dogs are within 6 inches, so they all get +1 to their invulnerable saves. And then I've kept my 3 units of cultists in reserves. Then Kane's gone along here, so he's got his unit of 2 Riptides here, unit of 3 there, the Yavara, the Tetras, and the Storm Surge. So now Kane's going to roll for his Seize the Initiative. All right, let's see. Nope, no Seize. So turn 1 goes to the Chaos.
Suck a dick.
Hey guys, we've just finished my first turn. So as you can see, the Death Star has moved up. I cast my spell, so I got Endurance, Warp, Fate, and Sanctuary all off. So now this unit has a 3-up rerollable with a 4-up Feel No Pain on top of that. I tried to do Shroud of Deceit, but I failed. That's pretty much it. So now we're going to jump into... Oh, actually, sorry, I also fired the Rapid Fire Battle Cannon from the Knight and killed one of his Tetras. But nothing amazing there. So we'll get into the Tau turn 1.
Alright, so Tau turn 1. Rather underwhelming, considering he has had a 3-up rerollable Invuln with Feel No Pain. But we took out the Knight with the D missiles from the Storm Surge. Other than that, we killed one dog and put a couple of wounds on a couple of other dogs and character, and that's about it, realistically. I didn't Hailstorm. I just thrust moved back and just tried to play it safe for this turn. So we'll see how we go. Cards-wise, I capped Overwhelming Firepower, and Dean capped Objective 2, I believe.
Big Game Hunter in my turn.
Big Game Hunter.
Yeah. Whatever, Tetra. Alrighty guys, there we have the end of my turn 2. So... the Death Star moved up a little bit further. We got into the Psychic phase. I got off Endurance. I got off Sanctuary. I got off Warp Fate. And then I got the Shroud of Deceit, which I used that to make the Storm Surge fire into the 2 units of Tetras. I killed 1 out of each unit and forced both units to Jink. So they'll be firing Snapfires next turn. And yeah, other than that, that's pretty much it. I did get a Perils result. But I managed to, I rolled a 5, which is pass a leadership check and nothing happens, and I passed my leadership. So no issues there whatsoever. Other than that, pretty straightforward. I failed the reserves rolls for both of my units of cultists that were in reserves, because my opponent had -1 to my reserves. And as for cards, I had secure objectives 2, 3, and 6. And I've secured objective number 2 here with the Hound. I am also on 6, but since a unit can only hold 1 objective, I'm only able to hold 1 of them. So that's 1 more card for me. So I got Big Game Hunter and Secure Objective 2 so far. And yeah, that's my turn. So we'll jump into Tau turn 2.
So Tau turn 2, I Hailstorm this turn. I somehow managed to do 4 wounds through Gets Hots to one of my Riptides and killing it.
Yep.
I did another wound to another Riptide, and another wound to another Riptide down there. Other than that, I killed 6 dogs, put a couple wounds on 1 or 2 others.
And you killed the Herald.
I killed the Herald, and that is about pretty much it. Yeah. So, yeah. Cards-wise, didn't cap anything, so over to Dean.
Alright guys, so there we have the end of my turn. So for cards, I had Secure Objective 3, Behind Enemy Lines, and 6. So I've got objective number 3 here. I got Behind Enemy Lines as well, but I abandoned 6. Basically, once again, Cabal moved forward. I got all the powers I wanted, so I got Endurance, I got Warp Fate, I got Hammer Hand, and I also got Sanctuary. I used the Shroud of Deceit to get his these 2 Riptides to fire into the Yavara, and I actually managed to take 2 wounds off of it, which was fantastic. And then I basically just multi-charged everything, killed the Yavara with my sorcerers. I forgot to cast Force, but it didn't really matter anyway, because I didn't get any wounds on these guys. And the Yavara was down to a single wound anyway. But yeah, and then the Hounds blew up one of the guys and then stunned the other one, and did no hull points to that one there. So that's the end of my turn 3, and we'll jump over into Tau and see what they can do.
So Tau turn 3,
Yes.
bottom of 3. So pretty much piled in here. Took a wound, I think, or 2 wounds on a Riptide there. I novaed over here and thrust moved the Riptides away over here. Moved up the Storm Surge and shot the cultists, which basically blew up and then ran off the table. So I was planning on charging with the battlesuit. Dropped a second battlesuit down here to grab his objectives. Moved the Tetra a little bit further down the table. So now the plan is he's stuck in combat over there with stubborn Riptides with 3-up Invulns. Hopefully they can hold him and keep him tar pitted on the one objective. Cheers.
Alrighty guys, there we have the end of my turn. So we had secure objectives 1, 2, and 6. 1, 2, and 6. So I failed to get any of my cards. I did, however, get both units of cultists on because it's being turn 5. It's automatic. Or turn 4, whatever. So they came on, shot at him, took a single wound. And then we had the combat over here. So we had the psychic phase. I used the Shroud of Deceit to get the Riptides to take out the Ethereal, which I meant to do the previous 2 turns, but I kept forgetting. I used Force, but it didn't help because he denied it. And then basically I just took off a single wound off one of these Riptides. And they passed their leadership. So really disappointing combat. But we'll get into the Tau turn and we'll see.
So Tau turn 4. Lost a suit in combat over here, charged in and lost a suit, and then drew Hell Combat. Finally killed the Riptides over here. Rolled 3 ones on armor save, invuln saves, and killed one of Storm Surge moved up, shot down there and blew away one of the units of Acolytes, and they ran. Both Riptides thrust moved further down this way. So yeah, turn 4 over, on to turn 5 for Dean.
Guys, there we have the end of my turn 5. So I had 1, 2, and 6 for my cards. 1 is here, 2 is here, 6 is here. So I'm holding 6 with my Death Star. So I get that card. They basically just moved up. I had a potential to charge the Storm Surge, but I decided not to, simply because that opens up a possibility for him to stomp out and get some kill points on me, whereas I'm already ahead in victory points. If I just secure that lead and out-survive him, then I'll win. So they've charged over onto that to get me that victory point. I brought a Skull Cannon in from the Blood Tithe, and he's deep striked on top of objective number 4. So I'm now holding that as well. And then the cultists have scattered over here. They killed the suit they were in combat with and are now holding objective number 5. Not that it really matters. But yeah, so that's the end of my turn, and we'll jump into Tau turn 5 and see if he can claw back any victory points.
So summary is turn 5. Nova charged the thrust moves. Thrust moved over here, positioning myself between 2 objectives, taking objective 1 because it's an Eternal War one. Storm Surge charged shot the cannon and blew it up. Was going to charge it, but no point. Killed it. We shot a dog. I shot a fair bit over here and killed the dog. And that's about it.
You killed the unit of cultists.
Oh yeah, and I shot the cultists with the SMS and the burst cannons from the Riptides and removed them. So yeah, that's the end of the turn. We're going to see how we go with the lucky game end. I'm praying for a game end. He's rolling the Serbian dice from ETC.
No, one more turn.
Goes on.
Let's see.
Unfortunately. Jez?
Rip.
Alrighty guys, there we have the end of my turn 5. So we've got, I had Psychological Warfare, secure objectives 2 and 3. So I turbo boosted these 3 sorcerers, they stayed together in a group, so they've gone over onto 2. The Chaos Lord detached, got on 3. And then the rest of the Cabal units charged over into the Storm Surge. I used Shroud of Deceit to get the Storm Surge to fire at the Riptides, but failed to do any wounds. As for powers, these blokes have Endurance and Warp Fate, but that's it. So yeah, we'll get into Tau turn 5, and then we'll do a roll-off. Or turn 6, sorry. Yeah, turn 6. Sorry, guys.
So turn 6, the Storm Surge did a stomp and managed to 6 out a couple of the dogs, killed 5 dogs, and killed, I think, another dog with a normal stomp. The Riptides shot at the buffed up unit of Psychers and did jack squat.
You did one wound.
I did a wound. As per usual, Dean's been on fire with his dice. He should go to the casino.
I should.
Yeah, and other than that, yeah, thrust move back, grab the objective, no cards because they've been capping crap. Anyway, yeah.
Jeremy's going to do the roll for
Jeremy's
us.
going to do the roll, the cuck.
Goes on.
So I've got it, guys. There we have the end of my turn 7. So this is my final turn. So I had Psychological Warfare, secure objectives 2 and 6. So I've got number 2 there. I could have separated a guy off to go get 6, but if I had done that, he's going to shoot me and probably kill me. So I figured, stuff it, I'll just stay there. And then this guy's staying here for Line Breaker, and he's also holding number 3 for the Eternal War. Then we had the Psychic phase, so I got all the powers that I wanted. I got Endurance on both of these units, because both this Sorcerer and that Sorcerer both have it. He did perils and take a wound, however. Then I got Warp Fate as well. And that's it. And then in the combat, I failed to wound the Storm Surge. He did a stomp and managed to take a wound off a dog. I'm just praying that they stay alive long enough for me to continue to contest that, because there's an Eternal War objective under there as well. So as long as the unit stays alive, but we'll jump into the Tau final turn. It's only 2 units, so it should be nice and quick, and we'll be right back.
Tau turn 7, moved forward, shot at the sorcerers. He rolled like a fiend again, saved it all. Over here, did some stomps, but just did pretty dismal. Did, I think, a wound. Thrust moved back onto the objective because, yeah, it didn't do too good. Anyway, so that's it. Score-wise, we went through and had a bit of a look at it. I got...
I think it was 9 to you and 19 to
yeah,
me.
and 19 to Dean, so quite a convincing win for Dean. So, yeah, if Dean, you want to say anything?
Yeah, so the only thing that I would probably touch on is that I was extremely lucky in that I got the first turn. I also got every single power that I wanted. I also managed to, every single time I perils, I passed my leadership check and took no wounds. And if I did, I used Feel No Pain to bring it back. I also got extremely lucky with my rolls. Like, I was rolling like crazy. So I think with all of those things combined, that's how I managed to win. I don't think it was necessarily by good play. And while my army did perform really well, I think if it doesn't get first turn, it's pretty much an auto lose. So, or close to. So, while this battle report's going to make the Cyclopia Cabal and Fleshhounds look like it's unstoppable, but trust me, it is not. Don't get lured into a false sense of confidence, because if you fuck up one of those spells, you're dead. Or if you go up against, there's a lot of hard counters to it as well. If there's one Selexis Assassin on the table, you pretty much can't win that game.
Selexis completely shuts out Cyclopia Cabal, Weird Storm Brotherhoods, all that sort of stuff.
Any psychic-based Death Star. So it's a very strong list if everything goes your way. But the same could be said for almost any army. I don't think the list that I ran today is particularly competitive. I don't think it's not something that I would take to a tournament with the expectation of podium. Because if you only get to go first in half of your games, you're only going to have a solid chance of winning half of them.
There's still you still can increase your Cs as well. You can get a higher chance to Cs.
There's a few tricks you can do.
And ITC add Cs bonuses and things like that. It's definitely
I definitely think I'm going to try. We were talking in between some of the turns, and I'm going to try dropping the Knight and adding in either Be'lakor or Cypher to try and just change it up a little bit, because the Knight got dropped turn 1 and really didn't contribute much to the army. And he's a huge points sink, because not only is he expensive himself, but in order to get him, you need to take a Chaos Space Marine CAD, which means 2 units of cultists. And in order to get this guy, my lord, with the extra movement, it needs to be a World Eater's CAD, which means the cultists need to take the Mark of Khorne. So there's like 140 points worth of tax there. It's making him a very expensive choice. So I think changing that up a little bit is going to make this more points efficient. And so that's my closing statements. That being said, at the start of this game, I was just like, I don't care how many powers I get. That is just so much tower shooting. I was shitting my pants. And the fact that I did get all of that, I got every power I want, and I still ended the game with only 4 hounds left. That just goes to show how powerful those tower shooting are. So, thanks for watching, guys, and I hope you enjoyed it.
Thanks, Scott.
Longer for the blood,